Hey friends, and welcome. My name is Dr. Heather Carton, coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather right here. The page is also known at the Keto Doc. So super excited to be here with you on this amazing Thursday night. Generally on Thursday nights we do a live Q&A, but I had a bunch of questions after we did the fasting talk the other night about the benefits of fasting, why someone might fast, whether it's short term or long term. So we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. Hey Judy, nice to see you here. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer in Alaska than it is here in Kansas City. We woke up to 4 or 5 degrees this morning. So super cold here in Kansas City, which is where I'm coming live from today. So if you missed it, the other day we talked about the benefits of doing a long-term fast. So I'm going to talk tonight about what can you actually have during intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is something that you can do every day. It's just a time of the day or a window in which you eat and a time of the day in which you don't eat. So intermittent fasting has really been doing it every day that we've actually been alive. It's actually counts as a minute that you wake up, and the first moment that you actually put calories or food in your mouth, that begins your eating window. So if you wake up at say 6 o'clock in the morning and you simply put water in your mouth, then maybe you have a little bit of tea, you're still having 0 calories, you're still in your fasting window. Maybe you don't have anything until 9 o'clock and you wake up and you have maybe some eggs or some almonds, or you maybe have some celery and nut butter. Ding ding, that begins your fasting. That you begins breaking your fasting window, and now you begin the clock of your feeding window. And then you eat until, let's say, 7 o'clock at night. So if you eat from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., that is your entire feeding window. Now, say you get ready to go to bed at 10 o'clock, and you're like, man, I'm just a little hungry, and you have a couple bites of nuts, or a couple raisins, or a couple blueberries, or a bite of a piece of chicken. That extended your fast. That still counts in that feeding window for the day. Oftentimes people think a bite of this or a bite of that, because it wasn't a total meal, doesn't count, but it absolutely counts. So you want to make sure when you're talking about your feeding window that your feeding window is all about calories. So a few years ago, it used to be counted as 0 calories. So as long as there were no calories like water, coffee, tea with nothing in it, no International House of Creamer, anything like that, it was pretty easy to decipher when you were in your eating window and when you were in your fasting window. So eating or feeding window. Now we have something on the market called exogenous ketones. So that actually has calories. However, because it has ketones, you can have that in your fasting window, and it does not break your fast because it actually accelerates your fast because it increases your ketones to a therapeutic window, even if you're not in ketosis, but it increases autophagy. It increases your ketone level to a therapeutic window, so you can have it in that that fasting window. Other things that you can have in your non-eating window or your fasting window is you can definitely have sea salt in your water. You can have electrolytes as long as they don't have any sugar, any dextrose, any sucralose, any artificial sweetener. So if you're having some type of electrolytes that have any type of word that you cannot read, you should be able to read sodium, potassium, magnesium, selenium, zinc, manganese. Those are all the antioxidants and minerals, B vitamins. But if it's B vitamins from a beetroot or from carrot juice or things like that, or vitamin C or things like emergency, those all have sugar in them. Those are going to count to be in your feeding window and will actually start your fast. So in your fasting window, when you're not having any food, you don't have any calories, you can have water. You can have any type of tea, whether it's like, I just grabbed my bag here, some herbal tea. Again, as long as there's no sugar in it, so herbal tea. You could have black tea, green tea, gray tea. And my dog is in the door saying hello to everyone. You can have coffee as long as you're not caffeine sensitive and as long as you don't have a caffeine allergy, but make sure it's a good coffee, because if you're buying an economical or lower grade of coffee, sometimes that can actually cause a histamine response in your body. It can trigger your glucose to go up, and that's really the definition. Anything that causes your glucose level to rise begins your feeding window. So if you were actually to have something, I found this in my cupboard the other day. It was a little Crystal Light packet that had aspartame in it or had some artificial sweetener, that can actually raise your glucose level. That will actually start someone's feeding window. Same thing at the end of the day. If you're going to get ready to go to bed at night and you put some artificial sweetener or you put some lemon juice, because lemon has calories, it also has some sugar, that could still keep your feeding window open. So make sure you're super careful. But you could do something like pink Himalayan sea salt. You could have a good mineral or a good electrolyte in there, but it's kind of safer just to have your electrolytes in your eating window if you're not sure. But again, just anything you're having something like an electrolyte, whether you're determining if it's in your eating window or your feeding window, just make sure whatever it is you're putting in your body does not have sugar, does not have any type of sugar name in it. There's about 100 different names for sugar. I'll post that. Maybe I'll post that tomorrow. And speaking of that, anybody who requested the symptom survey for food allergy sheets, I think I left at the office and I forgot to scan it, so I will get it to you guys tomorrow. So thank you for asking for that. I didn't forget about it. I just forgot to grab it as I ran out of the office. But back to the story. So just make sure it doesn't have any name for sugar in it. Make sure it doesn't have any artificial sweeteners in there, any artificial colorings. Oftentimes people think they can take any electrolyte any time of the day, but again, if it has sugar in it, it has an artificial sweetener in it, it can potentially increase your glucose level, which is going to break your feeding window. So when you're doing intermittent fasting, this doesn't have anything to do with your ketone level. It has to do with your glucose level. You want to keep your glucose level low. You don't want to keep it up. So Terry, you're going to have to listen to my live earlier to know what I'm talking about. So listen to the food allergy live earlier in today. So that's really what I touch on, because I had a lot of people share. So thank you for sharing the information we talked about on fasting. But I had a lot of people ask, when does the fasting or window start and stop? End of the day, beginning of the day. It simply begins whatever you're doing, consuming, that raises your glucose level. It used to be the old rule, whatever had calories, but now we know that exogenous ketones have calories. However, when they're pure therapeutic exogenous ketones, which means they actually have beta-hydroxybutyrate in it, the one that's bioidentical to your body and does not have artificial sweeteners, artificial coloring in there, it should not raise your glucose level, because it should actually lower your glucose level because it's raising your ketone level. Another thing is MCT, a pure grade of blend of MCTs, whether it's MCT, whether it's C8, C10, C12, those should not raise your glucose level either, because your body should turn those into ketones. It actually should lower your glucose level. You could actually have those in your fasting window as well. But if you don't have a glucose meter and you're not able to test that, then to be on the safe side, have it in your feeding window, because 79% of people are dehydrated. Get more water in. If you think you're hungry and you're trying to get to that 8-hour eating window, have a little bit more water, put a pinch of sea salt in there. If you don't have electrolytes, or again, just be on the safe side, put a pinch of sea salt. You can have it in the water. You can just have a pinch in your hand and you can lick it, or if you have these bigger rocks, you can tuck one in your cheek if you want. Yes, sea salt is actually good for your body. Sodium is good for your body. We actually need it. Many of us are deficient on it, because sodium is actually the taxi cab that puts nutrients into cell. So if you have other questions, drop them down below. I'm going to be super brief tonight, but we usually do a live Q&A on Thursday. But I already did live this morning, and I have a form that I need to get several people. But again, I ran out of the office and I forgot to scan it so I can send it to you. So I'm going to dig through my bag. If I have it, I will send it. If not, I will get it to you all tomorrow. So thanks again for joining me tonight. Go ahead and hit that share button if you know somebody who wants to have this information. You can always invite more friends over to Ask Dr. Heather. For more fasting information, you can hop over to my YouTube channel, which is Ask Dr. Heather. There are about 60 videos. We are in the process of uploading the last year of videos over to my YouTube channel for more information, to be more categorized, so you can have it more streamlined for you to be able to find information. We're trying to get that a little bit more organized for you as well. So thanks again for joining me. You guys have an amazing evening, and I hope this helped you guys. Terry, thanks again for your nice comment there. Terry, thanks for sharing that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.